It is such an incredible thing that a person can decide to just believe things with absolutely no fact or proof, just their own impression or their own news feed, which nowadays with social media can be whatever you choose it to be. Now, what's interesting is that even if people were to be 100% correct about the country of Israel, there is a huge difference between being anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, and anti-Semitic. And everybody who has the most basic of common sense can tell the difference. But yet people choose to act ignorant, and the irony is that the only reason they can get away with it is because Jews are soft. Yeah, you can look at the IDF and say, what are you talking about? Such aggression, such aggressive maneuvers, but look how many decades and look what they're doing. But that's not even not only not my point, but not even my business. Just because I'm Jewish, there's no reason for people to come onto my channel and hate on me with comments having to do with Zionism and the IDF. And again, the irony being that this week's Torah portion is about the founding of the nation of Israel and how God gives them the laws that they have to keep and all these things. And as I try to share our history and our story, people keep coming at me with all these statements of hatred about my prime minister and my country and this and that. And I just find it so incredibly, like I said, biased and just illogical and unreasonable. The world seems to have been divided into two different times. First part is when people followed blindly, as in when everybody followed the same news and everybody followed the same path. And nowadays, it's the exact opposite. Everybody has their own opinion, and then they find some place that will prove their opinion. And I think that any intelligent person would want to find truth. They would try to find somewhere in the middle. They would try to find something that makes sense to them, and not to just go ahead and hate everybody because of the Zionistic horrible things going on. How does that make any sense? Come on. I'm over here standing in Brooklyn, New York. I'm Jewish, so therefore you want to hate me because of Zionism and Israel and all this stuff? How does that make any sense? I mean, the fact that I even need to have this conversation is just so nonsensical. It's almost humorous, if not for all the hatred. I mean, everybody feels it, and it just gets more and more intense as time goes by. And what's the need for it? It comes from cowardice. Nobody would do that in the black community because they know that the black community is tougher and they're a no-nonsense community when it comes to this kind of stuff. Nobody would do this with other communities, but yet the Jews are an easy target. So let's make like they're the aggressors and then beat them up, kill them, murder them for it. You tell me how that makes sense. Unreasonable. I love debate on my channel. I love when people come on. My channel is not for Jews. My channel is for everybody. And I love when people share their love of their religion, their opinions, their differences, whether I agree or not. But when you talk about hate, there is no room in God's world, no matter how you perceive your God, for there to be hate. And I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and of course, please share with your friends. Have a great weekend, and let's try to keep that hate down to a nice warm brew. Have a great one.